What's up, guys? Today I wanted to talk a little bit about, next year, what's coming, what's in store for NASCAR Heat 4. I'm assuming that's what they're going to call it. And a couple of other things in terms of further down the line, beyond 2019. So, first of all, what have I been doing? Really been spending most of my time playing Red Dead Redemption 2. And I have been playing NASCAR Heat 3. I've gone back to playing a lot of 50%, 100% races. And I do want to take a moment to point out that this game has held its replay value a lot longer than past games. It's due to the competitiveness of the AI. The game is still quite challenging, in my opinion. Yeah, there's a couple tracks here and there that are easy. But, some tracks are kind of hit and miss. But for the most part, I think the majority of races have been very competitive. I've gone towards using custom setups that I, took off other people online. And there's some tracks where it's still very challenging, even with custom setups. Maybe I'm just not that good, So, a couple of my favorite tracks. I love mile-and-a-half tracks, but a couple of tracks that I've been racing lately, Kansas and Kentucky. I love those tracks. They're a lot of fun to drive, and I gotta say, man, they are fucking challenging. Yeah, this game still needs work. I've talked about that, but at its core, the racing, the actual racing, the competitiveness, they did a great job with that, and that's what keeps the game fresh in terms of the actual racing. The other areas, not so much. The career mode, I haven't really been doing that. Now I've gone from that to just doing single races at 105 with the custom difficulty, which gives you a little more challenge than the legend in career mode. So I've been strictly doing that. Career mode lost its appeal for me because there is a point where once you upgrade everything, you're just making money. There's absolutely no expenses. So they really have to work on that for the next game. You own an organization and there's no expenses. You don't pay salaries to your employees. There has to be more to spend your money on. That keeps things moving along where it's more realistic. With this game, really, once you build up all of your equipment, there's no more to spend money on. And really, there's just nothing else going on in career mode to keep you going, unless you want to start from scratch. And I might do that. Another thing, a couple of changes you guys already know, they added the ability to simulate races, and that's a big deal. And that's it's things like that I have to commend them and give them credit for. They've heard the complaints, they've heard people talk, and they've stepped in and made changes. Another thing I noticed, I've only been racing a couple of different tracks, so I'm assuming it's for every track, but in the custom settings, they did away with the 10-degree maximum camber adjustments, which was ridiculous in my opinion, and now it maxes out at 5, which is a lot more realistic, and I'm really pleased to see that. That's a good thing. I don't know if it's like that for every track, but I'm assuming it is. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. I have been, like I said, I have been playing the game, but I've been running 100% races and some 50%. So that's why I haven't uploaded any more gameplay videos, because I'm not as into the shorter races. You don't have as much time to really strategize and work your way through the field. It's kind of really condensed. The last one I tried to do at 50%, the video got cut off, and I thought I had recorded the second half, and it didn't happen, so I screwed that up, and that turned out to be one of the best races I ever had. It was a lot of fun, so, you know, it sucks, but that's what happens. So I have been playing the game, but like I said, 90% of my gaming time right now is on Red Dead Redemption 2. So that's what I've been doing. There hasn't been really much to talk about in terms of news. 704 has released, you know, a bunch of paint schemes, a lot of paint schemes. The thing is, from what I've seen, and maybe you guys can correct me, they haven't released any new templates for customizing your car. I thought that was supposed to be part of the DLC. I don't know what's going on with that. I've looked around. I don't see any news on that. So yeah, they've released a ton of paint schemes, but no new templates. And that's pretty crummy, you know, to be honest. I don't know what their plans are. Maybe they're just going to drop a bunch of those, you know, in the future. I don't know. But that was supposed to be part of the DLC as far as I understand. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I looked around. I don't see anything. So that's a little disappointing. And they really should address that. So I don't know what they're doing. It's almost December. Yeah, I know this game isn't really that old. It hasn't been out that long. But at some point, you know, it is going to be time to start working on the next game if they haven't started. So I did release a NASCAR Heat 4, you know, idea video that I always do. Those of you who watch my videos regularly, I'm sure you've seen it. So once again, I do ask that you guys forward that video to 704. I know that some of you may have already done that, but I think if we bombard them with this stuff, they're more likely to pay attention. So it's never too soon to start, and that's why I did that video so early. And I would appreciate if you guys continue to help in pushing things, you know, in that direction by forwarding that video, also adding your ideas and stuff. So I don't know what there's no news, actual news. So basically, that's in the air for now. Now, what's in store for 2019? I don't know. I hope they listen to most of the ideas I talked about. One thing that really I do find concerning, they haven't talked about a paint booth, right? People have been wanting a paint booth since the first game, and at first they kind of said that maybe later down the line it's something they're considering, but you know, it's not as much that they haven't confirmed anything, but they haven't even mentioned it. And I'm starting to get the feeling that this is their way of making extra money by just selling DLC to people, and maybe they don't have that in their plans. Now, I hope I'm wrong, and I could be wrong, but the fact that they've never really talked about it in detail, not even letting people know, listen, we understand this is what you want, and we're gonna, you know, at some point we're working on this stuff. They won't even give you that. That concerns me. So I just have a weird feeling like they may be holding off on stuff like that so that they can sell DLC. And maybe if they do have a fully fleshed out paint booth, they're afraid that people aren't going to buy DLC. And that makes sense to me that that's what they may be thinking. And that's not a good thing. So that's just a thought on that. Now, I've talked about this in an earlier video, but I was talking about next gen consoles, and I said that I don't think they're that far away. Now, I honestly believe that we're gonna see next gen consoles within the next couple years. Now, there are rumors that the PS5 is gonna come out for 2020. Even if you want to say, oh no, there's no way, that's too soon. There's no way they're going to release a next-gen console later than 3 years away. So, at the latest, I think 2021 is the latest that they're going to wait to release a new console generation. It's already been confirmed that a lot of developers already have next-gen development kits for the PS5. I don't know if there's anything in the works for Microsoft, but I'm assuming they are working on a next-gen console. Yeah, I know the Xbox One X hasn't been out that long, but that's really a mid-cycle console. It's not really a next-gen console. So, what I'm saying is, at some point, 704 has to start considering that they may have to start developing, or at least early development, of the next gen cycle of NASCAR games. This next game is going to be, I'm assuming, NASCAR Heat 4. If they name it something else, whatever it is, it's going to be the 4th game of this generation. I honestly don't see that I don't see really a 5th game, and maybe it's a slight chance that you would see it, but beyond 5, I think at some point in that cycle they have to jump to the next generation. So they can't really wait that long to start at least, early development or planning for that next gen cycle. Now, I bring that up for one reason and one reason only. I really think they really need to be careful about the next gen's first game. They can't repeat what they did with this cycle of games, which started with NASCAR Heat Evolution, which is they released a bare bones, pretty much glorified demo as a first game, and then they asked people to kind of stick with them and wait, and we're buying this game every year, and it's getting better, so I give them credit for that. But in all honesty, it's not reasonable to expect people to keep buying these games year after year. And now we bought the 3rd game in the series, and it still doesn't have all the features and all the presentation that, like, let's say NASCAR 2004 had. So even if you want to say, hey, they're not going to give you everything the first time out, but you can't come out with another NASCAR Heat Evolution type of game, because they lost a lot of people when they did that. A lot of people got fed up and walked away. Never bought NASCAR Heat 2, never bought NASCAR Heat 3. So you lose customers, permanently. Or if they come back, it might be years down the line when they are confident that, oh, okay, I'm hearing that this game is pretty good. I'll give this a try. That really kills your business. And NASCAR is not a huge community in terms of the gaming community. So you got to be careful. You cannot repeat that mistake. If you do that, it's going to do irreparable harm to your business. So when you come out with that next gen game, right, which could be 2 years away, I think at the latest 3 years, right, you have to come out the box strong. You got to have all the features people expect, and everything has to be next gen level. You cannot continue to put out stuff where people say it feels outdated. So yes, they've done a lot to improve these games. I've given them a lot of credit for that. Even NASCAR Heat 3, I am enjoying it still, but I'm enjoying it basically just single races, quick races. I'm not even in the career mode anymore, which is a shame because it just loses its appeal once you max everything out. Also, I'm enjoying the challenge more of the 105 custom difficulty. It is a little more challenging than the legend. So I enjoy that more. And I'm running 50, 100% races, and it's fucking hard. Now, speaking of that, I was able to win a race at Kentucky, but it was not easy. And I ran a few races. And most of those races, I was in the top 5 to top 8. And I was like, fuck. And finally, I was able to really tweak everything and figure out a strategy. And I finally won. Kansas, I can't win. I don't know, man. It's fucking hard. Now, I'm sure a lot of it must be just I don't have enough talent to make it happen. But I still enjoy that track a lot. And I'm using a custom setup now according to this, I got it off YouTube. The guy that was running it is running consistent 30.1. I'm running 30.3, 30.4 at best. I'm trying different lines. I'm trying different, break points, and it's really hard. But I'm not frustrated with it. I'm actually enjoying it. I like that it's not easy. And that's what you needed these games to be. So the one area they really needed to make sure they addressed, I think for the most part they have. So that keeps me playing the game. I keep going back to it. So that's why the replay value is much better than any NASCAR game we've had in recent memory. So there's still a lot of issues. I get it. There's still things missing. The AI still needs to spread out. Even the pit strategy needs work. It still needs work. A lot of times, a whole bunch of cars stay out in a late caution on really old tires. And even though you get new tires, there's not enough laps. And then no matter how much faster than that you are on new tires, it's just track position, and then it kind of ruins the race. Then if you stay out with those handful of cars, your car just doesn't handle good enough to win the race. It's really hard. So it's frustrating to a point, but it's also challenging. I'm still enjoying it. So that's what I'll say about that. But there's still so much room for improvement. And that's why I'm asking you guys to forward that video. I'm going to put the link in the description box for that NASCAR Heat 4 video. And yeah, even if you've sent it before, send it again. Twitter, Facebook, wherever 704 is, right? They're probably sick and tired of hearing stuff from people like me. But, they have shown that they listen to the community. So I do commend them for that. They've made a lot of improvements. Even after they released this game, like adding the ability to simulate races. That made a huge difference. Now, I may actually go back and restart my career, knowing now I can simulate tracks I hate running at. Things of that nature. It'll really make the career mode a little more enjoyable the second time around. Things like that. So that's a huge thing. They were able to do that. And, we still want the track map. We still want caution replays, presentation, all this stuff. So we really got to keep coming at them with these ideas because they are listening. And I know a lot of people still have things to nitpick about the game, but really, if you take a step back and you really look at everything and you're being fair about it, these guys did a commendable job in the improvements they've been making year after year, and also listening to the community. For the most part, you're not going to get everything you want, but for the most part, they have really done a commendable job of listening, which is why I haven't given up on these guys. So I've said it before. I'll say it again. These guys are not Eutechnics. They're really the effort they're putting forward for the most part feels genuine. It feels like they really are trying, and I really appreciate that. So rather than just keep, nitpicking, I'm trying to be as positive and constructive with the criticism and continue to push ideas forward. And we have to keep, as a community, doing this because they are listening. It is working. So all these times in the past, for years, you hear people in the community or in the comment section, hey, you're wasting your time, these guys suck, or they never listen. They've been proven wrong, okay? There's no doubt about it. These guys have been proven wrong. The community has made an impact. These guys are listening, and we are slowly but surely helping this developer push things in the proper direction. So yes, there's a lot of room for improvement and a long way to go, but we have to keep pushing as well. And we got to keep telling them, man, we want a paint booth. That's such a huge part of NASCAR, and people want to have their own custom schemes that they created. And there's a lot you can do with the paint booth, like I've talked about, whether it's customizing your own fire suit to match your paint schemes. How about some of these sponsorships, have them part on your suit? Right now, everything about your character model is so generic. There's so much room for improvement. So let's keep pushing forward. As always, I do thank you guys. I look forward to your comments and your suggestions, things of that nature. I don't do a lot of videos. I know sometimes you guys are probably wondering, but this channel is not about me. It's not about me promoting myself. It's not about trying to make money or trying to clickbait. That's not what I'm about. That's never been my goal. I don't monetize. I don't, one thing I want to say is, and this is, I'm not talking about everyone, but, you guys, you spend time on YouTube, and a lot of fucking YouTube channels are nothing but clickbait and just regurgitating, garbage, meaningless garbage, and, they want you to subscribe and like their videos and all kinds of stuff, but it's really, you just feel like, hey man, all these guys are doing is trying to make, money and stuff like that. I'm not talking about everybody. I mean, you guys can decide for yourself, but that's not what I'm about. And as you could tell, I don't have a big channel. There's very few subscribers. People that watch my videos, I'd like to think they really care about what I'm talking about, and they don't walk away feeling like this guy just wants me to, bring his subscriber count up, and he's monetizing and he's just clickbaiting with bullshit. I'm really proud of that. That's not what I'm about. And I can walk away anytime. When I make videos, it's just things I want to talk about. It's not just, hey, I got to push out a video because I want to make sure I get more subscribers and I want to pump up my viewership and just, I just find that so dishonest. And it's one of the things I've always hated about social media and YouTube and shit like that. It's just so much meaningless fluff, right? So that's all I wanted to say about that. But, if you like my ideas, if you really agree with some of the things I'm talking about, then help me by pushing this stuff forward to 704, and let me know what you think, and I look forward to your comments. So I'll see you guys around when there's something to talk about. I'll talk about it. But for now, it's very slow. It's kind of the off season, especially for like NASCAR Heat, stuff like that. We're probably not going to hear anything from 704 till the new year, maybe February, maybe March. I mean, we didn't hear anything till the end of the first quarter of last year. So until there's something more to talk about, I'll see you guys around. I look forward to your comments, and I'll put the link in the description to my video that I made that most of you saw already, NASCAR Heat 4, the suggestion video. Please forward that Facebook, Twitter, anywhere else that 704 is doing their communicating. Alright, so I'll see you guys around, and I look forward to your comments.